Welcome to the USA Bulletin, your source for the news that shapes America. Today we're covering a Supreme Court decision that will reshape the U.S. economy, the overturning of the Trump-era tariffs. This ruling impacts businesses, workers, and consumers nationwide. We'll break down what happened, why it matters, and what's next. The tariffs affected everything from car prices to groceries, sparking years of debate and trade wars. Now, the Supreme Court has changed the game. We'll hear from experts, look at market reactions, and explain the legal details in simple terms. This isn't just about politics or economics, it's about America's future in the global marketplace. Whether you're a business owner, worker, or shopper, this decision touches your life. Stick with us as we unpack this historic moment. If you want clear facts and smart analysis, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the USA Bulletin and stay informed. The story of these tariffs has divided the nation for years. Some celebrate today's decision, others worry about what comes next. We promise to give you the full picture. Let's dive in and see what this Supreme Court ruling means for America. To understand today's news, let's rewind. The Trump administration imposed tariffs on goods from China and the EU, aiming to boost American manufacturing. The idea make foreign products pricier, so Americans buy local. Supporters said it protected U.S. jobs, critics warned it raised costs for businesses and consumers. Companies using imported parts, like car makers, faced higher expenses, passing those costs to buyers. Other countries retaliated, sparking a trade war that hit American exporters, especially farmers. The legal basis was Section 232 of the 1962 Trade Expansion Act, allowing tariffs for national security. The administration argued that relying on foreign steel and aluminum was a security risk. Critics called this a stretch, saying it was more about protecting certain industries than true security. Some U.S. industries thrived under the tariffs. Others struggled with higher costs and lost overseas sales. The economic impact was mixed, fueling a fierce national debate. The controversy set the stage for a major legal challenge. At its core, how much power should a president have over trade? The answer would eventually come from the Supreme Court. This wasn't just about economics, it was about the limits of presidential authority, and it would change the rules for years to come. The case, American Importers Alliance v. United States, was brought by businesses hurt by the tariffs. These companies argued the president overstepped, using national security as a loophole for economic policy. They claimed the law was meant for emergencies, not long-term trade strategy. The government countered that the president has broad authority to act on national security. They insisted a strong domestic steel industry is vital for military readiness. The legal fight became a classic battle over separation of powers. Lower courts were split, some siding with the president, others with the businesses. With conflicting rulings, the Supreme Court had to step in. The central question: how far does presidential power on trade and national security go? The nation watched as the 9 justices took up the case. The outcome would set a precedent for future presidents, and it would decide the fate of the tariffs. On September 20, 2025, the Supreme Court delivered its verdict. The tariffs were unconstitutional. In a 6-3 decision, the court ruled the president's use of Section 232 was too broad. The majority said national security can't justify any economic policy. A clear link to real threats is required. The ruling reasserted Congress's authority over trade. The court didn't strike down Section 232, but set a stricter standard for its use. Future presidents must show specific evidence of a direct security threat. The decision limits executive power and makes it harder to impose tariffs unilaterally. Dissenting justices warned this could tie the president's hands in a crisis, but the majority's view prevailed. The tariffs are gone, and the balance of power has shifted. This ruling sends a strong message. Congress, not the president, sets trade policy. The legal battle is over, a new era for American trade begins. The reaction was swift. Wall Street surged, stocks for importers and exporters soared. Business leaders praised the decision, calling it a win for manufacturers and consumers. Lower costs and fewer trade barriers mean more competitive prices. Retailers expect to pass savings on to shoppers. Overseas, leaders in Europe, Asia, Canada, and Mexico welcomed the move, hoping for smoother trade relations. The ruling offers a chance to reset global partnerships strained by the trade war, but not everyone cheered. Labor unions in the steel industry warned of job losses and renewed foreign competition. They argued the tariffs protected American workers and industries. The divide over tariffs remains deep. For some, this is a victory for free trade. For others, a threat to American jobs. The debate over how best to protect U.S. workers is far from over. But the market's message was clear: business is ready for change. What does this mean for you? Expect prices on many goods, appliances, electronics, clothing, to drop as tariffs disappear. Companies will see lower costs and some savings should reach consumers. If you work in industries using imported materials, this is good news: lower costs, more stability, and possibly more jobs. Exporters like farmers will benefit as foreign markets reopen. But for workers in protected industries like steel, the future is uncertain. More competition could mean job losses. These sectors will need to adapt, and government support may be needed. The economy is shifting back toward global trade, promising efficiency and lower prices. There will be winners and losers in this transition. For most Americans, the biggest impact will be at the cash register. As prices stabilize or fall, you could see real relief from inflation. The ruling marks a turning point for American consumers and workers alike. The effects will ripple through every corner of the economy. The Supreme Court's decision closes one era and opens another. By overturning the tariffs, the court returns trade power to Congress. Future trade disputes will be settled through legislation, not executive orders. This could mean more stability and predictability for businesses and global partners. The U.S. now has a chance to repair strained relationships and forge new trade agreements. American industries must adapt. Some will innovate, others will expand. The ruling sparks a wave of change and opportunity across the economy. Congress faces pressure to help industries and workers adjust. The decision reaffirms America's commitment to global trade. It's a pivotal moment for the nation's economic future. The challenge: manage the transition, support workers, and seize new opportunities. The story of American trade policy is evolving, and you're watching history unfold.